Hello, and welcome back to Hear Me Scream Part 13. Not actually, why should I call it part? I should just call it episodes. That's the thing you say in the podcast, right? Anyway, this week's been a weird one. It's like with the Navy and stuff, it's like very boring. This time around, I decided to bring my Switch with me. This time, I was like, it's the same, really. You just sit down a lot until you have to do your fucking mandatory duties. Also, I've been saying the word F word a lot for some reason. Like, my mom mentioned it when I came out one day, and it's like, I say that word a lot. Anyway, I'm gonna be more positive this time and talk about the best game ever made, and I'm not even fucking overhyped. Is that even the correct way of saying it? I'm just stating the fact that this game that I'm about to mention in a minute is literally one of the best games ever made. And it's just facts. I don't care what anyone else say. And for me, it's like better than Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15. It's even better than what other games do I consider really good? Did I consider Sekito good? I keep forgetting. I know I don't like Bloodborne. Anyway, that game, the best game ever made, is called Go Vacation, which was made by Namco Bandai for the Nintendo Switch. That game is just a masterclass. And it's just facts. Anyway, like, I absolutely love Go Vacation. It's literally one of my favorite games of all time. It actually is one of my favorite games of all time. Why? Okay, there's a funny story with Go Vacation that always makes me smile and nostalgic. Anyway, as a kid, like any other teen adult growing up during the 2000s with the internet growing, I watched a lot of YouTube, and I used to watch a lot of playthroughs of video games, and it was a way to help me get into new games. Like Sugar Conroy and Nintendo Capri Sun. Like, I watched so many games they play, which I ended up playing myself, and they're all so good. And Go Vacation was one of those games. Actually, it was done by someone called Dazo and 303. I don't know about the three of them, like if they still do gameplay playthroughs or something, because growing older, I sort of stopped watching game walkthroughs of video games. I don't know why. It's like something that just not makes me interested anymore. But like, I used to watch them a lot, and it was a way that I got different games. Like, I remember thanks to Sugar Conroy, I got into Okami and Super Mario Galaxy, and thanks to Nintendo Capri Sun, I got into Metro Prime and so many other games I can't even mention now. And Go Vacation was one of those games, but unlike the rest of the game, which I ended up managing getting a copy on later on, Go Vacation was always that one game I could never get my hands on. Like, even as a child, earlier adolescence, I just couldn't find a copy of the game. And when I could find a copy of the game, I realized I needed some more add-ons. Like, the game is not a requirement, I know that. Like, it needed the Wii Motion Plus, which my brother, like, I was a kid, I didn't know it was if it was mandatory or not. My brother said, like, yo, don't buy it if it's not mandatory. What's that one word? Is like, it's not mandatory, but like, it makes the experience so much better. What's that word? It's like, it's not mandatory, but my brother said, like, if you're gonna get this game, you better get this, but like, you have no money, which is true. As a kid, I had no money, and my parents are like, you get one thing for Christmas, and it's like, oh yeah, video games were expensive. Okay, video games are still expensive. Anyway, so I never got Go Vacation as a kid, and it's like, until my 17th birthday, and actually, yeah, around there, where I literally just went to not even a local video game store, it was just a game store for little children, like those play areas, and there's like the one little section where they feature different types of electronic, like a CD player. Well, hell, I literally found some video games for the PS2. I found Parappa the Rapper. That's like, huh, that's cool. And then I see in the corner 2 copies of Go Vacation sealed, and I'm like, what the fuck? Really? Out of everywhere, it's right here? What the hell? So it's like, yeah, it's time. And it's like, the thing is, my birthday was coming up, and this time around, and I mentioned it to my mother, like, oh hey, this is the video game I always wanted. And she's like, okay, don't buy it, I'm gonna buy it for your birthday. And I'm like, okay, cool. And she bought it that day, which was pretty neat. But then she's like, okay, you can't play it until your birthday. It's like, oh, I see what you did there. But then it was like, oh yeah, now I understand video games and consoles and how they work. I should better buy the equipment. So I bought myself like the Wii Motion Plus, like the add-on, because I'm not about to spend like 50 euro on a new controller because I'm the only one playing the Wii in my house. Yeah, I still used to play the Wii up until 2 years ago because like I was stubborn. I was not ready to move on past the Wii. Like the PS4 was out. I'm like that. I'm not good at getting into new hardware. I'm saying that much. So it's like, it was a fun birthday, I'm not gonna lie. It's like, I didn't have a birthday party, like I'm not this person that does that sort of crap, it's just like not my style. But the thing is, for like the past consecutive years, my mother made sure I cry at least once on my birthday. Not in a malicious way or anything, but the thing is, my birthday is smack dab in the middle of summer, and my parents, and where I'm from, the tourism industry is one of the biggest one here, so it's like, you either make the money on summer or that's it. You can't have it either way. So my parents work, like my family worked during their asses of the summer, and I was a kid, I can't really help them out. So, and my mom always told me she wants to do so much more for my birthday. She wished she was there for most of my birthday, which just makes me cry. It's like, Mom, you're the best. You can stop now. You're doing your best. Don't make me cry. And then she just leaves money for me to buy takeaways. Like, okay, Mom, thanks. And yeah, I did play a lot of Go Vacation that birthday night. It was just so fun. It always reminds me of the time I played Super Paper Mario as a kid as well. I did not understand the story, but the gameplay was fucking fun. But when I would play that game and read the story this time, I cried a lot. Anyway, back to Go Vacation. I mentioned in the beginning, the only reason I knew about Go Vacation was by the YouTuber Dazran303. And it's just like, it looks so much fun because like I mentioned before, my parents work in the summertime, my family works in the summertime, so I'm always home alone. And I will always hear from my friends about their holiday trips to America, to England, to France, and everywhere else in the world, and I never got that luxury. It's not like a big thing, mind you. Like, I don't really care that I never went to any other places. But it's like, it felt like I was missing out on something. Like there's only been two places countries I've ever been to. The birthplace I've been born and my mother's place, because my parents are both different. They were born in two different countries. So I visit my mother's country. Why am I being so incognito about my fucking countries I've got? I don't know what's going on. But the thing is like, that was the only two places I've ever been. It's not like I'm not ungrateful. Like, I love every winter that we go up to my mother's country, because it's always a fun experience. But like, I want to see what else the world has, and so like Go Vacation really filled that hole for me. Even though I haven't played that game as a kid, it's just like, yo, I like this, and the exploration aspect of Go Vacation will always be my favorite one. Like the marine resort, one of my favorites, even though I do live in a tropical island. It's dumb, don't get me wrong, but like, I don't know how to write a speech, but in Go Vacation I sure can. And it's just like an overall fun experience. Like, I never got into the multiplayer aspect because like I had no one to play with, but like I can play with myself and I will just have such a fun time. Even though in the Wii version it's like the controls are an absolute weird thing. Anyway, and another thing Go Vacation has that over time I started to appreciate was the music. The game has sort of this weird atmospheric sound that goes on, like the sound of the beach waving, the sound of the wind from the mountain resort, or the sound of the city noises, like those train cars, they make noises, right? But then you just go to some populated area, quote unquote, and then you just hear some music in the radio or stereo, and like those music are fucking bangers. They're just so good. One of my favorite one, which I featured in some of the podcasts, called Love Race, I think it's called. I think Love Maze, yeah. And like, and another thing I like about this music is like Bandai Namco decided to take from all past games they published, I think, and they just remade them like with better, and it was like, it's so good. Another one was like UFO. I don't know what the hell the guy's saying, I just understand the UFO part and I love it. And another one is Hotel Kauai, not Kauai, I can never pronounce the island's name. Kawaii Island. It's like, it's such a good song, and it makes me sad that the Switch version does not have the opening theme. I'm pretty sure it's because of copyrighted issue, because it's like, it takes the medley from an old song. I don't know, and that was the reason why they changed it in the US version of the game. I think something like that. I know that much. And also there was a Switch version, which always, that I honestly remember, like, that was such a weird day. It was like after 2 years after I finally played the Wii version for the first time, like a lot of it. And it's like, I'm fine with it, but I cannot replay it again because like it's the Wii. I managed to get myself a PS4 and then Nintendo Switch. It's like I saw no point in keeping it plugged in my room anymore. So like I'm gonna take it down, like, so I won't be able to play much of it. And then I was just like playing Project Eva X, and then I just look at my phone. It's like, oh hey, Gold Vacation is getting a re-release on the Nintendo Switch, and I'm like, what the fuck? That was a happy day to be sure of. I squealed so hard, I remember that day. And yeah, but I did buy it on day one, not gonna lie. I managed to get my hand on a physical copy, and it was like, it was a good day. It was such a great day. And especially, it's like, even though the Switch version feels kind of inferior, there was a lot of mini games cut out because of the way the Nintendo Switch is, which is weird, like the sword one and the dancing one. They could have handled it better, I think, but like, I don't know. I'm just a dumb guy. I don't know much about stuff. And the game has this weird multiplayer aspect. It's like, I still love it, don't get me wrong, but then it's like, the game has not aged well. Like, I'm not docking it. I still fucking love the Switch version, but like, it felt like, yeah, I'm playing a Wii game on the go, not gonna lie, but I still loved it, and I was so happy the fact that I can take it anywhere with me. But I will always have this strange look for people. It's like, oh, you have a Nintendo Switch and you're playing this game that's literally a port from the Wii with not much changes, and they were charging it more than the original, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I did, and it was worth every fucking penny. Even though I can never manage to get myself around to 100%, like I want to, but then I just ended up exploring most of the fucking zones in the game. My favorite zones out of the 4 is definitely the city resort and mountain resort. It's just like the mountain resort, because like I always fantasize myself. I always imagine myself living in the countryside up in the mountain. Like, it's such a beautifully aesthetic area, and like kayaking seems cool, people, and like just imagine just sitting outside in the morning, having a nice cup of coffee and a book next to you. I don't mean a book, I mean a Sudoku puzzle. It just seemed like the fucking dream. And the city resort, because like I'm a basic bitch that likes colors in the night sky, and the music there, ooh, Love Maze is such a good track. I love that song. My least favorite one is definitely the mountain, the snow resort. I don't know why, I just like, even though Gold Vacation is actually like a successor to the Wii Ski series, like I don't know much about it, but like seeing gameplay, there's like a lot of sound clips from them. It's like, it seems interesting, and I would have loved that as a kid, but like I literally heard of that series after the announcement on the Nintendo Switch for Gold Vacation. It's such a weird game to have from the Wii to the Switch. Like, I'm not complaining, but like it's such an out of the blue shit that happened. It's like, I'm so grateful to this day. Another thing I loved about Gold Vacation is like, even though most of the NPCs that are in the game are like fucking robots, the fact that they interact with each other with simple animation and like sound clip makes the world feel alive. One of the things I appreciate in video game is when they make the world feel alive. Like another game that does a really good job on it is Final Fantasy 15, where like the characters mention the surrounding, they talk with each other when you're just walking around. I feel like Gold Vacation sort of does that, but like very, very simple, like the basic as in basic, but like I can still appreciate that. Also, you can play as JIMMIE. That's fucking cool. I love that feature. Another thing I love about Gold Vacation is definitely the character customization. I like all the different types of colors. I mean, costumes and colors, and the Nintendo Switch version, they add like a couple of 3 more, I think, and I love those costumes. They look adorable as hecky. And the fact that you can actually not rent animal, like have a little dog with you, is like, oh, it's adorable. And the fact that like they can help you, like they bark when there's like a treasure close by, oh, it's so cool. I love it. minigame wise, they never really appealed to me. That's why I never bothered with 100%ing it. Some of them are fun, like the Grindmaster one. I really like that one because like I like the sound effect. It sounds snappy. But most of them just feel very basic. But it's like, and it's like one of the appeals of the game is like, oh, this game has over 40 mini games you can play with other people. Like, I just want to roll around in my scooter and my roller skates. Thank you very much. I don't care about that. And then you have the villa customizations. Like, oh my god, I wasted so much hour in that. Like, trying to unlock them in the first place takes a lot as well. But like the customization is endless, and I can appreciate this rich version for trying to make this multiplayer aspect like, oh, when you battle with other characters, like the ghost of another player, it will appear in the villas, like there are villas will appear there, something like that. But I tell you now, I do not think it worked. Like I remember like I had 3 different ones and they were there for like over 3 months, and I'm like, the hell, why is it not changing up? Like and the thing is, like, Go Vacation is not as popular as any other game, so there's not a lot of bad thing about the game that's documented. So it's like, how do I change it? I want to change it, can I not change it? So that's like sucky. And I know there's gonna be people saying, but like, oh, Go Vacation doesn't seem that good, it seems very primitive. And the thing is, I don't care. The game is fun for me and it makes me feel happy. A video game does not need to be deep, as in, I don't know, what's Yoko Taro's latest game? Nier Automata? I don't know. It's like if the game makes me happy, and I don't mean like games will make me happy for different reasons. Like Final Fantasy 15 makes me really happy, but the story is so sad. It's like my point is like, I'm not gonna make an hour-long essay video why I think Go Vacation is the best shit ever, which is true. I'm just stating it because I love this game, Go Vacation, and it's like, I don't care about the faults because like I can look past them and still love the game. We live in such an age where like, if you say you like this, there's gonna be someone saying like, oh, but it's a bad game. I mentioned this before because like it's getting annoying, especially with like Dark Souls 2 or Kingdom Hearts 3, which I've mentioned how many times before. It's like you don't like them, sure, that does not make them a bad game, you know. You think this is a bad game, it probably isn't. Like, I fucking hate Persona 5, but you're not hearing me in the background saying that Persona 5 is actually a bad game, because like it's not. If you want to see a bad game, look at Steam sales most of the time. There you can find some garbage in there. Cheap cash grabs, what the kids call them these days. Like, it's annoying, and you always have those video assists who will make an hour-long video going like, insert title here and why it's bad here, and it's like, it's getting annoying. And you always have them in the beginning saying, it's my opinion, so you shouldn't judge my opinion. And it's like, I don't care, hon, what's your opinion is. If it's shit, it's shit. I remember one of the most annoying ones was something about Final Fantasy 15 being a mediocre game. I completely forgot about it, but like I watched 20 minutes of it and already got really bored of it. It's not like, oh, it's like, it sounds like I'm a fan, but it's like, oh, you can't say what's bad about the game, but most of it is like, yeah, actually, if you pay attention of the game, it's actually really easily spelled out to you, especially with Final Fantasy 15 stories. Like, if I have a nickel every time people will say Final Fantasy 15 story is bad and they have a fucking profile picture from Persona 5, I'm gonna laugh. I laugh my ass off, and I'll have like a couple of nickels, even though nickels are completely useless where I'm from because I'm not American. It's like, I was like, it's technically not made. It's not. It's like, sure, you can think whatever you want about a game, but it's like, doesn't make it as it is. Like, I can say how much I hate Persona 5. It's like, it's not a bad game. Or Nier Automata. Like, I'm saying this now. I don't think Yoko Taro is that good of a storyteller. I should probably title this podcast me being like my controversial video game opinion. Speaking of that, I think Persona 4 soundtrack is better than Persona 3 and 5. That's a topic for another day. But the thing with Yoko Taro, he's such a one-trick pony that's like, I'm gonna purposefully withhold information from you so the twist feels good, but like, it's not. Like, sometimes it bloody works, like the reveal. Okay, spoilers for Nier Automata, skip 5 minutes ahead or something, I don't care. I do care, like, skip. Like, Nier Automata has its moment, even if you haven't played the original Nier, which I like to call Nier. Like the reveal that humanity's been dead for a long time, that was such a well executed reveal. But there were so many other reveals that are like, okay, that's just felt like you purposely felt withhold information just to make it shocking. Like the opera singer you just killed was just madly in love with some prick. That giant beast that was destroying half the remaining androids was just a child throwing a tantrum. Did you feel bad yet? You're on your second playthrough. Do you feel bad yet for something you didn't know? Especially in the original Nier, like all those things you've been killing in the beginning. Turns out they were the souls of humanity. Do you feel bad yet that we withhold that information from you? Oh, did you beat the final boss? Oh, turns out you just doomed the entirety of humanity. Did you feel bad for that? It's like, game, no. It's like, you can make me feel bad about some other stuff. Like, actually, does Nier Automata do that? I don't remember. Also, and there's like other moments that makes me question like, huh? I don't think that's good. Like the one that always annoys me, but I absolutely love and it makes me feel bad is like Pascal and the children, I want to say like the kids who during the slaughter in their village, like the corrupted. It's been a while since I played Nier Automata, okay? If it's not obvious enough that the thing is like they took it to the safe place, but Pascal and A2 were fighting off in the front. But when they come back, they found like the children committed suicide. That always felt off for me because like, I'm sorry, as a kid, oh, thanks, motorcycle. If I'm scared shitless, I'm telling you now, my first instance will not be suicide, just food for thought. But like, when Pascal break down and begging A2 to kill him or erase her or erase his memory, for me, that was such a heartbreaking scene. Like, no matter what you choose, it's hard. And the fact that there's like a third option, which is just leaving Pascal alone, that's such an amazing moment in the game. Especially the fact that the game doesn't tell you that's the third option. That's one of the best moments in Nier Automata, in my opinion. And there was some quest lines that were better than the main story sometimes. Oh, the Devil and Pobola light novel after you gain access to the tower with 9S. That was also an amazing moment of the game, in my opinion. And another moment which like it's only good thanks to the visual aspects and music wise of the game. Actually visual wise, I don't think Nier Automata is good. It looks like the same problem it has with Bayonetta. There's like this ugly brown filter going on. It's like, yeah, that makes the game look very old than it actually is, but never mind that. But the thing is, like, when you go inside in the copy city for the first time, will be one of my favorite moments in any video game because, like, you don't know what you expect. You're looking for 9S. You don't know where the hell you're going. You're going back inside the deep parts of the main mothership, and then you turn a right turn, and then you just open this door to this white, pristine, gothic, Victorian area. It was such a cool moment. Oh, and that scene where like if you go through 9S and Adam is talking to you and then he said like, you want to 4 stars to be, don't you? I love how you can interpret that in so many different ways. I like some of the moments are like, yep, that's just some good storytelling, but I feel like there's just other story moments, like the big ones are like, yeah, I don't think they're good. Especially that ending. The ending is good, but it was the power of friendship can solve everything. The thing is, people don't like to admit that because it's such a cliche storytelling, but the reason why people praise it so much is because it's meta. I'm telling you that now. But and the side quests sometimes, like most of them are quite forgettable if you ask me, but one of them that shined above the rest in my opinion was definitely the one with trying to collect some chips for this random Android guy, and then you don't know what it's for, and like the bonker calls you to say you should actually destroy those chips or you should not hang them over, and then you do give it over to him, and then you find out he was building another like a 9S type model Android so he can have his family. The game played it off as though it's a creepy thing he was doing, and when I first played I thought, why is that? I don't see a problem with it until my second time doing the quest where I realized that like, oh yeah, it's creepy because like if he was done with humans, like he literally took apart corpses and put them together to create a child. That's like, yo, looking at it like that, it's fucking disturbing. And for me, that was just such a good moment. So that's my. Also, it doesn't help that Dragon Guard 3 had such a better soundtrack than Nier Automata. I'm saying that now. The Silence Is Mine is a much better track than The Weight of the World. They're both phenomenal track, but what gosh darn, The Silence of Mine just like, ooh yeah, that just hits all the right notes. Why am I talking about Nier Automata? I want to talk about the best game ever made, and that's Go Vacation. Actually, there's not much to say about it, but other than that, I fucking love Go Vacation. Go Vacation is a good game. Maybe I should talk about another controversial gaming opinion I have, which is that Fire Emblem Fates is such a much better game than Fire Emblem Awakening, and it's true. Anyway, I'm gonna cut it off short here because I'm getting very thirsty and there's no water. Anyway, thank you for listening for this week's podcast. Hopefully next week I'll do a better one. I'm gonna force my friend next week. Don't worry, I'll be better at this. Trust me. I just need practice. I think. It's like the 12th one and it's like, I don't think I'm getting any better. It's like, oh well. This is my podcast. I can do whatever the heck I want.